Hi everyone, Jackie here with Enjoying Life's Journey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another monthly goals report video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my new 12-week year goal, but also I wanted to share with you my new morning routine to help with healing and health. Some of the resources that I recently have purchased to help me with that. So I'm going to go over a little bit about all of that. So if you're interested in learning more, let's get to it. So the first thing is, if you guys watched my goals report video last month, I mentioned about the different life categories and the roles that we play within those categories, and how, I had purchased Tony Robbins' The Time of Your Life program. And so he mentions about, sprucing them up and naming them something that's exciting and that's going to keep you eager and motivated to work on that area in your life, and to come up with your key categories for areas of your life that you want to focus on. So if you're interested in what I had 7 different categories. I shared them with you in that video, so you can watch those. And I mentioned in that video, for the month of April, my goal was to focus on coming up with my plan for my category of radiating vitality. So for me, I mentioned radiating vitality was basically everything that had to do with my health and well-being. So fitness, mental health, physical health, my beauty, all of that combined into radiating vitality. And I mentioned that with Tony Robbins' system, that you want to come up with your ultimate vision for that area, and I shared that with you guys as well. So it kind of, you have your vision and your purpose, what does it mean to you, why is it important to you, and then what is the plan for that area. So the first thing I had to do, I mentioned I wanted to come up with a plan, and I had 7 areas within radiating vitality, and you're not going to be working on all of them at the same time. But I mentioned that I had the area of cleansing the body, healing the body, nurturing the body, higher power, my mental, emotional state, movement of flexibility and range of motion and endurance, my training, which was strength training and posture structure training, and then the last one of being like my beauty regimen. So for the month, like I mentioned, for the next quarter, my 12 weeks, I'm focusing on 3 set goals. And so I wrote down the goals, and I'm going to go over that here in a second. But the resources that I purchased between that month, that video, and now have actually been helping me out quite a bit. So the first one is, I bought this was a dual CD pack, and this is Dr. Andrew Weil, and he has, this one is Breathing, the Master Key to Self-Healing. So this gives you 8 breathing techniques. There's 2 CDs in here. So the first CD goes over the whole background and the importance and some of the examples of how breathing can not just help you mentally but physically. And so this one it's actually been helping me out quite a bit with my anxiety. And then the second one in the package was the meditation for optimal health, and this one I believe has about 4 different meditations in there, and they're guided. Same thing, it has the first CD gives you the background and everything, and then it gives you the guided breathing exercises and the guided meditation. So this has been a huge thing. I mentioned, I was looking at some of Tony Robbins' health programs, and his programs are not cheap. They're about 200 something a piece, so I won't be able to purchase that anytime soon. But he does mention in there 2 different breathing type things. He does one breathing thing in his morning ritual, and he does one throughout the day. And so I started looking into just breathing, and there's another person I was watching, Stephen James. He has a channel called Project Life Mastery. I've been following him for a long time, and he mentioned something that is actually like almost so common sense that we don't think about it. But he says, or we can go weeks without eating, we can go days without water, but we can only go minutes without breathing. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it's been really helping. It's really been helping my anxiety, and it's been helping just me overall getting more oxygen into my body. Those of you who followed my health issues a few years ago, over the years, when I was in the hospital for my kidney stuff, they actually had to put me on oxygen. They sent me home with one of those breathing things where the thing goes up and down. and they asked me, you know, if I was a smoker, and I said no, and they asked if I used to be a smoker, and they said I basically had the lungs of a smoker, and that was just insane to think that. Now, I did grow up in a house where my mom smoked in our house, so during my childhood I was exposed to secondhand smoke, so maybe that was a thing. But realistically, it comes down to the fact that we are just not breathing properly. Like, we don't use our bodies to breathe properly. I got the meditation one. I've tried following meditation, guiding meditations like on YouTube and stuff like that, but it wasn't until I listened to the theory behind it and why we do it and how it helps that it kind of became more apparent that I needed it. And then when I followed along with the guided meditations, it was crazy how, like, more aware I just was in that moment, right? So this is a great resource. I'll leave a link down in the description box if you guys want to check it out. They do come separately, but I got it together. Right now I'm focusing primarily on the breathing, and I'll talk about that with my 12-week goals here in a minute. The second book I got was the Igyasko Method of Health Through Motion. Now again, I was introduced to Pete Igyasko through Tony Robbins. So he mentioned about us training our structure, our bones, and our posture, and making sure everything is in alignment. And I have been to physical therapy several times. You know, I've been there for my shoulder, I've been there for my neck, I've been there for my hip, I've been there for my knee, and it always comes down to usually my hips are out of alignment. So when I get kinked up, you know, last time I was in November, I gave myself whiplash from sneezing. Like, how insane is that? And I was stuck like that for like 3 months, and I finally was like, I need to go see the doctor or something to try to be realigned. And they always want to send me back to physical therapy. So physical therapy is great because that's what it's doing. It's helping you get back in alignment. The problem is we fail to continue to keep up with it after the fact, or we only go, you know, 2 or 3 times a week because that's what the insurance will pay for, when really it's stuff that it's daily movement that we should be doing every day. And so he brings up a really great point in this book that it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves. It's not the doctors or the surgeon or anyone else. It's our responsibility to do the work. And he brings up a good point as well that we just don't move the way our bodies are made to move. You know, if you think about back in the day, hunting and gathering, we don't do that anymore. Even just things as to maybe our great-grandparents or even just our grandparents, where they physically did the yard work and they did all of these other things, and maybe they worked on the farm or they did these type of things that we're not doing anymore. A lot of us are stuck either standing all day or sitting at a desk all day, so we're just not using the muscles and the joints and everything like we're meant to use them. And so what happens is, you know, we hear this all the time that we need to be moving every day, and we say, okay, well, we need 30 minutes of movement every day. And so we just go out and start running, or we go play a sport, and then it hurts or we get injured and we blame the sport, when really Pete Igyasko mentions in here that it's just that we have a dysfunction in our body, meaning something is not in alignment, which is causing the pain. And this book is awesome. It gives you the 3 different conditions, and so he tells you how to diagnose yourself in the mirror, how to have someone help you if you need help, but how you can decide, you know, okay, what dysfunction do you have? You know, do you have a rotation in your torso? Do you have the hips are tucked under and the shoulders are slunched forward? Or do you have the feet that go out like this? There's different things that will indicate. Same thing, is one shoulder higher than the other? You know, we're not supposed to be like that. We're supposed to be 100% even on each side. So depending on which one you are, he gives you a set of exercises, and you're to do them in that order. He mentions that, you know, we need specific movements to do every day, and then when we're in alignment, then we can go do the sports and the fun things, and it won't hurt. And he's mentioned stories in there of people who have avoided surgeries or gotten off of pain medication, all because of just getting their body in alignment. So that's a huge thing that I'm passionate about doing right now. So Ricky and Arcadia and I, all 3 of us, we are starting off with that. So we're going to actually just go through all 3 conditions. We're going to do the exercises. We're going to focus on the first one that he says to focus on. We're going to go through them for about 3 to 4 weeks, then we'll go on to the next one, and we'll go through those in that correct order for 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll go on to the next one for 2 to 3 weeks. So then we should be completely aligned. And then he gives a fourth group of exercises for maintaining your alignment once you're in alignment. And basically this is just an everyday, most of these are just stretches. It's not hard. So I encourage you, if you're having pain, if it's been preventing you from working out, or you're thinking about working out, or you haven't worked out in a while, or anything, I recommend picking this up first. Get yourself in alignment, and then you can start running or walking or going to the workout, going to the gym, or lifting weights or playing soccer, or whatever it is that you want to do. Get yourself in alignment. So this one has been a huge thing. This other one I got was also for kind of like mobility, more like flexibility. This is the Big Book of Stretch Routines. So I kind of went back and forth because the author of this, Brad Walker, he wrote a book that's more like a guide for people who want to help other people do it. So it talks about the different body, like stretching the different body parts and all that. This one is the actual stretching routines, and it's super easy. There's only 3 stretches a day, or 3 stretches a time, and they focus on a different body part. So he mentioned just start with wherever you're tight. And you can do that. So it shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes a day of that stretching. So this one, it's going to take you a while if you're like me, and I have to do all 3 because I have a little bit of all 3 conditions. So it's going to take me a couple months to get aligned, but the flexibility one hopefully won't be too bad. And now the last one I have here to help, which I am currently reading, is because the other ones I've already read through. This is the Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush. Now, Andrew Mortez, I'm not sure how to say it. Andreas Mortez, I'm not sure how to say his name. He has several books. He has one that's just like the Miracle Cleanse, which is basically just the gallbladder liver cleanse. This one is more in depth. It actually has a kidney cleanse in there, which is really important for me because I do get kidney stones. I've already had kidney stones like 3 times. Whoa. So, it has the kidney cleanse in there. It has the gallbladder liver cleanse in there. It talks about keeping the colon cleanse. It talks about getting enough sun. It talks about so many other things in here, and I'm currently reading this one right now. But Ricky said he would do the liver and gallbladder flush with me once I'm ready to do it. So what's the goals? Okay, so those are the resources I bought since I talked to you guys last. And then if you guys remember when I did the 12-week year, I made myself this sheet. And so I can track my progress. So when you're setting up your 12-week year goals, you write out the goal kind of as if you've already accomplished it, as if it's something that you already have, and then you come up with what are called lag indicators. So these are the indicators that are going to tell you you've reached the goal because you want something that you can measure. And then you have your lead indicators. So these are the action steps that you're going to take, so if you think about leading up to your goal. So that's what you want to have. And you want to designate, when do you want it by, are you doing it in the first week, the second week, like when is that by? And then with Tony Robbins, the RPM planning method, I am going to make a separate, I told you guys this last month, I'm going to make a separate video kind of about that. But in general, he mentions that you have your goal. So now I have my goal, and then you would go through with basically your goal, or you're thinking of your outcome. Okay, so what is the result that you're after? What's the outcome you're after? And then you tell yourself, you actually write out why you're after that. So if you watched last time, I already kind of shared that vision and that mission, the purpose and the vision with you guys. So I kind of already know why I'm after these things, and that keeps you motivated and more pumped up to then actually do them. And then you come up with your massive action plan, which for me is my 12-week year plan for the next 3 months. And then also, because you have your why and you know what your outcome is, you might come up with different ways to get there, and you're not going to limit yourself to only one way and then giving up because that one way didn't work. So I'm just going to go through these. I picked 3, so I'm only focusing on 3 new habits or 3 goals, if you will, during the next 3 months. This is about the middle of May, so I've kind of started a little bit, but I'm officially going to start tracking it for June, July, and August, okay? So my first one is, my goal is my body is aligned posture is restored, and the pain is gone. I walk tall, strong, and confident. My body movements are fluid and easy. Okay, so that's my goal. Like, that's the outcome. I want to be restored to the way I'm supposed to be, and I don't want to have any more pain. So the lag indicators, how am I going to know I reached that goal? One, my torso will be facing straight forward, so I'm not going to have that rotation. My hips will be back and not under like they were. My shoulders will be back. My feet will be pointed forward and not out. And I'll be pain-free. Okay, so the pain is going away very fast. I'm actually surprised. So basically, when are these due? So my torso facing forward, I want to have that by the end of week 4. My hips are back in alignment week 8. My shoulders are back week 8. My feet are pointing forward week 12, and I'm pain-free by week 12, so by the end of week 12. So that's what that is. My lead indicator. So now what's my massive action plan? How am I going to reach this? So I do the Egoscue method exercises every day from here on out. Okay, so I'm creating a new daily habit of basically stretching, doing these exercises, these movements. The first one, I do the 13 condition 2 exercises every day for the month of June. So like I mentioned, there's 3 conditions. He mentions that if you have any sign of condition 2, you start with condition 2. So that's what our family is going to start with. And there's 13 exercises or movements in that condition. So I'm going to work on that from week 1 to week 4. The next one is I do the 7 condition 3 exercises every day for the month of July, so weeks 5 through 8. And again, he mentions once you're done with number 2, if you have any signs of number 3, you go to number 3, which I have signs of all 3 of them. And the last one, I do the 10 condition 1 exercises every day for the month of August, so basically weeks 9 through 12. And again, that's the order that he says. So condition 2 has 13 exercises, so I'll be doing all 13 of them every single day for a month. Then I will move on to the condition 3 exercises where there's only 7 of them, and I'll do those in the correct order for a month. And then I'll do the last one, it has 10 for condition 1. There's 10 exercises I'll do every day. After that, so you guys will be joining me every month, but after that, then I'll be doing the maintenance, which he calls the deluxe exercises, and there's 22, and that's to keep you in alignment for basically from here on out. So then when you are sitting at the desk, or you're driving a long time, or you're doing sports, you're not going to get injured, you're not going to be in any pain, because you're keeping your body moving in the correct way it should be moving. He also gives a abbreviated version of that, which is like 30 minutes. So basically, you just give it however much time you can. If you only have 10 minutes to do it, do the stretches in the correct order for 10 minutes. The next day, start at the top again and do them as far as you can. The first time we did it, it took us an hour to get through them because we were reading on the proper way to do it, and I was helping Ricky and my daughter do it, so it did take us a little longer to do it, but now it's a little easier to get through. I printed this out. It's just a habit tracker, so I have the 3 habits for June. So the first habit is going to be the daily movement. So doing those Egoscue, I might be totally pronouncing that wrong, but doing that every single day, doing those 13 movements every single day in June, that is that goal. And then this gives you, like, you can put a start date on here, and then you can put like a reward. So I put my reward, if I do it every single day for the 30 days, then I can get a new bathing suit. Okay, yeah, make it fun. So my second 12-week year goal for my category of radiating vitality is I am calm, present, good, and sleep well. I am connected to the universe around me, and the anxiety is gone. Okay, so that's my result, that's my outcome, that's where I want to be. Okay, so the lag indicators to tell me that I've reached that goal, ways I can measure it, is I'm calm with no presence of anxiety. I fall asleep easily, stay asleep, and wake refreshed. So I have to just I'm gonna have to monitor this on a daily basis and just, kind of check in with myself. I'm more present in my daily activities and my relationships, basically being more aware of everything. I am part of something bigger, and I know that anything is possible. So basically, I'm just saying, by the end of the first week, by the end of the first month, I want to have the anxiety gone. So ultimately, like, not being present or not sleeping well or not falling asleep comes down to, with me, it stems from anxiety. So I'll have anxiety and then it ripples into depression and everything else, right? I'm trying to combat this without any medication. I've dealt with anxiety. It started when I was in like junior high, high school. I went from a junior high to the high school like in the middle of the year. Basically, I switched over Christmas break, and my anxiety just started at that point. I've never been put on medication for it. I do, though. I have a family history of just it's not good. I had a lot of family members on medication, whether that's depression medication, anxiety medication, pain medication, muscle relaxer medication, nerve medication. I have family members on this, and I have lost, in the last less than 10 years, I have lost 4 family members to these medications, overdosing, or it just destroys them. So that's something that's very dear to my heart, that I do not rely on medication for pain or anxiety. And that's why I've got this, so I can try to get my pain under control, and I got this so I can get my anxiety under control. So this is, like I mentioned, these are like my healing, my new morning, and these are things I'm doing in the morning. That's why I call it my morning healing time. So what are the lead indicators? Like, how am I gonna get out of that, right? So the first thing I put, I have a daily practice of breath work and meditation from here on out. So again, making it part of my daily routine. This is that's a goal that's like lifelong, right? But that's kind of getting started. So the second one, or the first one, however you want to say it, I listen and follow along with the breathing CD every day in June. So week 1 to 4. Okay, so making that habit. Basically what I do now is, as soon as I wake up, if you guys watched my Fly Lady morning routine, I usually would wake up, make my bed, get dressed, use the bathroom, swish and swipe the bathroom. I start with my daily, like my household type stuff. Now what I do is I still allow myself to wake up naturally. My alarm is set for 7 because that would be like the latest I'd want to get up. But I naturally wake up anywhere between 5:45 and like 6:45. I just naturally kind of wake up within that window. So what I've been doing is, as soon as I wake up, I have a little CD player now on the floor in front of my bed, and I put this on immediately. Like, I might use the restroom first, but I put this on, and you know, if I woke up at 6:30, then I do breath work for the half hour. If I woke up at 5:45, then I could get through the entire breath work, and then maybe I can do a little bit of the meditation. So I've been doing that every morning now, as the very beginning thing of my morning routine. Also, for those of you who do the Fly Lady system, because I've been cleaning my counters and shining my sink the night before, that frees up a little bit of extra time in the morning as well. So that's kind of part of the new routine that I have. Then after I take my daughter to school, I've been coming home and doing these stretches before I go to the YMCA and do Zumba or strength training. So that's kind of how I've been incorporating those two into my morning routine now. When my daughter has school, she only has like 2 more days of school, and then it's summer break. So she'll be doing this with me every morning as well. Okay, so that's for basically focusing on just this breathing CD every single week in June. Then I'll be doing the meditation CD, so I listen and follow along with the meditation CD every day in July, so week 5 and 8. And then lastly, combining them together. So I listen and follow along with the breathing and meditation CD every day in August, and then hopefully creating that pattern, that habit for the rest of my life. They give you ways to also do the breathing exercises throughout your day, to do it if you do have anxiety, to calm the anxiety. If someone makes you upset, how to calm yourself down. He has a breathing exercise in there, kind of how to wake yourself back up. He says we should be doing some of these breathing exercises twice a day. So once I get through building the daily habit of doing something every day, then I'm going to add the second one. But for the first 12-week year, we're going to focus on just the everyday. So for the month of June specifically, like I mentioned, basically my new habit is doing the breathing CD daily from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So again, if I wake up at 6:30, I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to do it for the half hour and then get on with my day. For a while, I was getting really bad about drinking like a beer or something just to go to sleep, and I haven't had to do that at all. Like it's crazy now. So I'm really feeling good about that. Also, you know, like I said, I'm trying to clean my kidney back out. I can't be drinking all the time. That leads us into the third goal for my 12-week year. So it says, I have cleansed my kidneys, colon, and liver gallbladder. I have more energy, a clearer mind, and no longer feel sick, and my skin glows. So my skin is already looking pretty good. I don't know if you guys can tell. I feel like I have like a little glow already. The lag indicators, the way I'm gonna know I've reached that goal is I have regular bowel movements, free from constipation, and I have clear urine. I am free from heartburn, nausea, and kidney pain. I feel light and healthy inside and a focused mind. Okay, so these are ways that I want to feel. Some of these, you know, you can think back of a time where you felt really good and things were working properly, and you can think of when you're not feeling good and things are not working properly. You can tell, like I can totally tell, like, so I'm starting to get some things working back in there. So what I have on for the lead indicators, basically what is my massive action plan, as Tony Robbins calls it. I do the cleanses below, so I'm going to read the cleanses in here once a year. So basically June or July of every year, I'm going to be doing these different cleanses. Okay. I sit in the sun every day for 30 minutes, and that's going to be the habit that I'm forming here in June. So I have my new habit for June is daily sun and reading for 30 minutes. So every day, 10 o'clock in the morning, I am sitting outside in the backyard. I'm sitting out in my sports bra, in my little gym, like little spandex shorts, or you could do your bathing suit if you want to. I'm sitting outside in direct sunlight for 30 minutes with no sunscreen, and I'm reading. So the goal for June is to finish this book so that I can do the cleanses. So then moving down to the next lead indicator is I have completed the kidney cleanse, and I put the first week of June or July, kind of depends, you know, if I get through this book through the rest of May, then I can do the cleanse in June. Otherwise, the goal is get through the book. Then I keep up with the kidney cleanses. Basically, he gives like the cleanse, and then he gives some kind of like daily stuff that you can do to keep the kidney stones gone. So that's what I would end up doing from kind of there on out. So again, I'm developing just new daily habits. So again, that would be weeks 1 and 2, depending on if it's June or July. And then the second one is I have completed a colon cleanse. So I've been thinking about trying a colonic, like a hydrotherapy. If you've ever done one, leave me a comment below. Let me know what are your thoughts on it. I was thinking of trying that. In the book, they talk about those. They talk about enemas and like other ways to change your eating habits to help just continually keeping yourself going. But as far as the initial colon cleanse, I was thinking of doing something like that. Again, and that's you know, the second week. So I would do the first week, I would do the kidney cleanse, then I would do the colon cleanse, and then a new like daily habit for me is to eat 70% of my daily food as vegetables, and preferably green vegetables. So I have started drinking green juices. So you know, kale, spinach, parsley, cucumber, with some lime and ginger, and apple juice in there. Like, I've been doing those things. I've gone to a place called Nectar, and I've gone to Jamba Juice. So I have started drinking those. I've never drank those before because, you know, they look gross, but they actually taste really good. And believe it or not, I think that's also helping my cravings for alcohol. I haven't had any cravings. Like, cravings are kind of dying down. So I have been debating whether I'm going to get myself a juicer and actually start doing this. So I don't drink it every day, but the goal is to drink those more than I have, and I've been increasing the greens and stuff. So instead of focusing on things I can't have, like I try to do like grain free. I will eat rice, and I'll eat some bread or something every once in a while, but I don't eat grain every day. I don't eat it with every meal. So instead of focusing on not eating grain, I'm going to focus on just eating more green vegetables. And then I have completed the liver gallbladder cleanse, and I put the 3rd week of June or July. And again, Ricky said that he would do that along with me. So I got to finish the book and know exactly what we're doing, and then get the supplies for it. So we'll see how that goes. We do have our cruise coming up, you know, this last week of May. So we have the drink package. I'm gonna be drinking, I'm gonna be eating, I'm gonna be having a good time. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm still gonna, you know, last time we did the cruise, I actually did really well of sticking to just what fuels my body, what's actually really decent for my body. There was a lot of times where I only had like maybe 2 bites of the dessert, and I just didn't want it anymore because I wasn't craving all that sugar. But because we have the drink package, I'm probably gonna end up getting like fancy coffees that I normally don't. I don't drink coffee. I'll probably get some things like that. So that's why I want to focus on doing the cleanse and all of that stuff when we're done, rather than doing it right before we go. So that's what we're gonna do. So basically, I have 3 habits for June: my daily movement, my daily sun and reading, and the breathing CD. That's June. And then you guys kind of heard what the overall 12-week year plan is. So join me next month. I am going to try to document these things for you. I've already been noticing some of my structure improving. Like this shoulder for a while was a little bit higher, and I've already noticed that it's come down. This shoulder is still forward, so I am constantly remembering to bring it back. So I don't know, maybe I can get Ricky to take decent pictures of kind of my alignment, and maybe we can track and see how the alignment's going. Basically, so basically that's the new my morning routine for healing and health is doing the breathing CD as soon as I get up. As soon as I get back from taking my daughter to school, I'm doing my alignment stretches, and then I'm sitting outside for 30 minutes in the sun and reading all about the cleanses that we're going to be working on. So that's what is part of what's added to my morning routine that I didn't have before. Those are the goals for June. We're going to make those new habits. I'd love to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment below if you have any goals in the area of your radiating vitality, or whatever it is that you want to call it, your physical health, your mental health, whatever. Leave me a comment below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.